21 days in, and I want to be completely honest with you. Day 18, I almost quit. Not because the workouts were too hard, not because I missed a day, but because I looked in the mirror and thought, is any of this even working? So if that thought crossed your mind even once, this check-in's for you. It turns out day 18 isn't a failure. Day 18 is exactly when it's supposed to get hard. Hey guys, it's Rose here. Welcome back to the channel. So we're here 3 weeks into this 90-day military calisthenic fitness reset to combat perimenopause weight gain and all the other symptoms that comes along with being in perimenopause. As usual with these weekly check-ins, I will be sharing what week 3 looks like, what my body did, along with our struggles and the wins. So let's get into it. So week 1 started full of excitement from this new perimenopause fitness journey. Week 2, however, brought me back down to earth real quick because this body and this exercise humbled me. Week 3 is the wall. The results aren't fully visible yet, but my body is tired in a way that feels different from regular tiredness, if that makes any sense. Here's what I've come to understand about that. It's not a sign of weakness. It's physiology. Our body, so if you're doing this along with me, my body, our body is in the middle of adapting. The rebuilding is happening. You just can't see it yet from the outside. So today I want to walk you through what I feel is actually happening or changing in my body, my brain, and also share something that I discovered this week that genuinely changed how I think about this whole reset. Okay, first, let's talk about what's actually happening in this body at 3-week mark. I started this fitness reset sharing that I could barely finish 5 reps of negative push-ups on week 1. This week, I completed 8 to 10 reps, 3 rounds each of not only incline push-ups, negative push-ups, tricep dips. That's 8 to 10 reps, 3 rounds. I'll let that sit for a second. Now with squats, I was hurting and pausing just to complete a rep in week 2. This week, I completed 10 reps, 3 rounds of squats, no pausing. Don't get me wrong, my knees were still screaming and complaining just like it did in week 2, but I can feel that something is solidifying. And another thing, remember the sleep disruptions, the 2 to 3 a.m. wake-up calls that I would get as part of this perimenopause symptoms? Well, since I started this fitness reset, I've noticed that I've had uninterrupted sleep. I would wake up in the morning feeling fully rested. I can't promise that it's entirely calisthenic, but I'm noticing it. My body's giving me this data and I'm choosing to see it. Now let's talk about measurements real quick. Here is where I started in week 0. And this is where I'm at in week 3. Now, there's really not much change when it comes to the weight, but I did notice that I lost 1/2 inch on my hips, 1/2 inch on my thigh, and then 1 inch on my arm, even though the weight stayed the same. That is still movement in the right direction. Okay, so here is the part that I want to share with you all today, and this is the thing that shifted everything for me this week. I have a brain fog, and if you're in perimenopause, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know, when you're reaching for that word during the middle of a conversation and then forgetting about the small little things, that, you know, that perimenopause brain, that's just where I'm at now. But this week, I came across an article from Yahoo Finance that talks about how movement affects the body in midlife. And I came across something that I genuinely did not know, and I can't stop thinking about it. I'm gonna add the link on the description below so you can read it at your own leisure because it's very interesting. So according to this research or article that I read, our brain has a waste clearing system called the lymphatic system. And that system activates during deep sleep or during rhythmic dynamic movement, specifically movements that involves your arms, your breathing, or your full body circulation. So like walking or doing arm circles or shoulder rolls. The way calisthenics forces your body to move together. That's not just building muscle. It's literally your brain getting rid of metabolic waste or toxins. So brain fog in perimenopause isn't just hormonal. Sometimes it's your brain telling you to move, to do the housekeeping it can't do when you're being a couch potato. And nobody ever told me that when I first started this reset. I thought I was just, building my muscle, gaining my strength back, of course, protecting my bones. Turns out I might also be clearing my brain. And that is week 3. Although I don't have a dramatic before and after to show you guys just yet, but what I do have is 21 days of proof to show you that I can keep a promise to myself and to you all. For someone who spent 26 years in corporate, keeping a promise to everyone else, a deadline, a deliverable, a client, that is not a small thing. All right, because you know me and I like to keep it real here. Now let's talk about what is still hard this week. The incline and negative push-ups is still not my favorite. I'm doing the modified version of negative push-ups, which is doing it from my knees as opposed to starting from a high plank position. And honestly, some days it still feels like it's way too much. I'm not going to rush that progression though, just because I think I should be further along. And there are still some mornings where perimenopause wins before I even get out of bed. That particular kind of tiredness, that is not because you didn't get enough sleep, but it's the fact that your system is working against you before the day even begins. And on those mornings, I just take it slow. I start my day a little later than normal and give myself grace. Maybe we do side lunges instead of negative lunges, slow instead of fast. And I want to be really clear. I'm not calling those days failure because after all, I'm still showing up. And that's the most important part. My body is telling me something, and part of this reset is about listening to what my body is telling me, not override it. But here is what is working, and this surprised me. The discipline itself. The military calisthenic framework, showing up whether I feel it or not, has given me something I didn't know I needed, which is proof that I can keep a promise. Not to a boss, not to a deadline. Oh gosh, thank God those days are over. But that I can keep a promise to myself and again to you all. Because if you're rebuilding after a layoff, after a burnout, after putting yourself last, that proof matters. So every day I show up for this reset is a small win towards rebuilding my next chapter. Which is why I want to say this clearly. If you're 3 weeks in alongside me, and the results isn't what you expect, just keep at it, because you're teaching your body to not abandon it, because it belongs on the top of the list now. And that, my friends, is our whole fitness rebuild. All right, so heading into week 4, which is what research says habit actually starts to take root somewhere between day 21 and 30. Here is what I'm carrying forward. My one commitment for week 4 is this. I'm building a real recovery days. Because I was treating rest as something I earned for working hard. I'm shifting that mindset. Recovery is part of this, not for surviving it. So week 4 is still the same military calisthenics, same exercise, but I'm intentionally building recovery on alternate days, as I mentioned. So like a breathing sequence that works that lymphatic system that we talked about, slow walking and movement. And I want to know yours. What is your one thing going into week 4? And drop it in the comments if you're in this journey with me or your own version of it. I want to hear from you. Anyways, thank you so much for being here. Come back next Sunday for our week 4 check-in because we're gonna keep going. And if you found value in this content, please do like and subscribe and share it with someone you know who is going through her own rebuilding too, because she needs to know she's not alone. Anyways, guys, take care. And if you haven't seen last week, you can check it right here.